What's on your Christmas wish list? How about a ticket to see the #2 team in the country? You'll have the best seat in the house for UConn in New Hampshire. Next. Following a 9-day layoff for final exams, it's back to work today for UConn. We are at the Civic Center in Hartford, Connecticut, where the New Hampshire Wildcats meet the second-ranked UConn Huskies. And a very pleasant good afternoon, everyone. I'm Bob Picozzi along with Bob Valvano. A happy holiday season to each of you. Yesterday was the last day of final exams here at UConn. All-American candidate Marcus Williams, suspended for the first semester, was able to return to practice this morning for the first time. So, Bob, we would like to think of you at the very least as the nutty professor. Professor Valvano, put on your hat. The final grades are in. What grades would you give the two freshman point guards who have filled in for Marcus Williams?
Should I be offended at that? I don't know about the nutty part. I'll tell you this. I think they have done a masterful job as we take a look at this Star Watch. These two guys in difficult situations, I'd give them a B+ only because Jim Calhoun wouldn't want me giving freshman guards A's. But Austri has scored. You see 7+ points. Both of them are doing a terrific job in terms of their assists to turnovers. But the one thing that Austri's done, as you see right here, is he's been able to shoot it a little bit. He's been shooting 50% both from the field and behind the three-point line, and as we said, averaging 7+ points. He also has 16 assists over the last 3 games. Now Garrison is not nearly the shooter that Austri's been, but you see the creative passing, and when you've got a front line like this, if you're able to draw the defense as he does there and find one of the front line guys, they are going to finish. I think under difficult situation, these two guys have performed very admirably.
This is the 4th of 7 consecutive home games for the UConn Huskies, who have a chance to be 11-0 going into January for the first time in their history. Back with the starting lineups at opening tip after this. Bob Picozzi and Bob Valvano back at the Hartford Civic Center, ready for the 114th meeting between New Hampshire and Connecticut. Let's check out the starting lineups. First for the visiting Wildcats. Tyrese Gibbs may be a shooting guard, but he leads the Wildcats in rebounding. Also the 6th leading shot blocker in the America East. Marcus Johnson and Ed Nelson both making their first career starts for UConn. Johnson because Denham Brown banged his knee in practice a week ago today, and Nelson getting the start over Hilton Armstrong. And Bob, that's simply a reward for a lot of effort, and Ed Nelson gives a lot of effort whenever he plays.
There's another guy who gives a lot of effort, a lot of respect for that guy. Billy Harrigan's done a terrific job in his past tenure in this league at Drexel, and now returns after a stint at East Carolina. And of course the Hall of Famer Jim Calhoun. What can you say about what he has done and continues to do with this program? Amazing.
And included among those 462 victories at UConn are just a few in the postseason. 47-15 is Jim Calhoun's one-loss record in postseason tournament games. Tossing the ball up, the referee Pat Driscoll working today with Fran Connolly and John Gaffney. And UConn with the ball against the New Hampshire team that normally, Bob Valvano, plays nothing but man-to-man.
Yeah, but tonight he is going to be John Chaney, Jim Boeheim, and Don Casey rolled into one. A lot of zone out of Billy Harrigan tonight.
And we may see 40 minutes of 2-3 zone. Rudy Gay has it knocked away, gets it back. Down low, Josh Boone, and it's blocked, but a foul is called on Jamal Katerina.
Well, the two things that jump out at you about UConn among the many great ones as you take a look at the series history, this is a long and distinguished, I don't know if you call it a rivalry, because I think UNH would have to win a few more to make it a bona fide rivalry, but they go way back. This is
Yankee Conference days.
Yes, Yankee Conference days, there's no question, going back to 1906-07. But the thing about UConn is they do such a great job on the glass that they are actually making more turnovers than they create, but it doesn't affect them because they're out rebounding people by almost 10 a game. So obviously New Hampshire's going to have to hold their own on the glass and can't make turnovers.
UConn 3rd in the Big East, 12th in the country in rebounding margin, and we see full court pressure right away out of the Huskies.
Here's where they've got to take care of the ball. Control tempo.
Gibbs goes right at Boone. And he's going to be called, what do we have here, a charge or a block? They're going to get the blocking foul on Boone. First on the Huskies.
That's always the fine line when you're Billy Harrigan. You don't want your guys to play scared, but if you attack the press too much, the tempo goes in your favor. Wow, that's even by Jim Calhoun standards a quick sub, 34 seconds in.
Hilton Armstrong, who started the first 7 games, replacing Josh Boone. This is Gibbs, defended by Marcus Johnson. He's a freshman from Los Angeles, and Jim Calhoun considers him a very good defender. He's getting the start because of the injury to Denham Brown, which might keep him out for another game. The next game is Friday. Left side, Jermaine Anderson was bothered by an ankle injury earlier in the season. Bob, look at New Hampshire milk that shot clock.
They milk the shot clock into a turnover. That's the fine line we talked about. How can you control tempo without playing so passively you don't get any good looks?
Wildcats 4th in the America East, their conference, in turnover margin. And now one of the freshman point guards we highlighted at the top of our broadcast, Craig Austrie with the ball. In and out of the hands of Ed Nelson. Rudy Gay winds up with it and takes it right to the rim.
Well, that's 2 possessions, though. UConn could have had a turnover. They looked a bit confused. The ball popped away, and New Hampshire got neither of them and actually wound up giving points on both possessions.
And Bill Harrion with an early timeout. A minute 24 into the game. Bill Harrion, when he coached at Drexel, was there for 8 years. And Drexel was in the America East for all 8 of those years. He won the conference's Coach of the Year award, Bob, 4 times, and no coach. And there have been a few good ones to come out of the league, including Jim Calhoun, by the way, at Northeastern. No coach has won 4 America East Coach of the Year awards other than Bill Harrion. 5 straight 20-win seasons took him to the postseason 4 times, 3 NCAAs, and the first ever NIT. And really, Bob, you know that you were doing games in that league at that time. It changed the whole perception of how Drexel was looked upon. Right.
And we've always kind of had to fight that kind of poor sister to the Big 5 teams in Philly, and really changed the way they were perceived, largely through his efforts.
The Drexel campus, you walk outside the gym, Bob, and you look to your left, you can literally see the palestra. It is more than just in the shadows of the University of Pennsylvania campus. Out of the timeout, Yanev, 6'8" junior from Australia, has it knocked away by Austrie, still loose, and winds up in the hands of Anderson. Still 20 seconds on the shot clock. This is Katarina, defended by Gay. New Hampshire's plan is to test UConn's discipline on defense in the half-court set.
They certainly are doing it here, but again, down to a short shot clock and not even close to in position to shoot it.
Yanev, and the ball's going to wind up in his lap with the shot clock violation.
Well, they certainly have been patient.
I don't think that's the play that Bill Harrion diagrammed during that timeout. We've played 2 minutes. Glad you can join us here at the Hartford Civic Center. Hope you're having a great holiday season. Rudy Gay with the miss. Nelson keeps it alive. We spoke about his effort. There was a good illustration.
Yeah, let's give the players credit. They've almost turned it over twice and missed a shot, and all 3 possessions now they get another chance to score. They may go 3 for 3.
Austrie feeds Nelson. 1 touch pass to Armstrong. Finds Gay, goes right through his hand.
That's the first UConn turnover, but one that could have easily been their 3rd. They have not really been in much of a flow against this zone early.
Branimir Zeko, a freshman from Mississauga, Ontario, number 22, replaces Yanev for the Wildcats. New Hampshire 2-7 overall. They are 0-2 in the America East. This is the first nationally ranked team they're playing this season. They'll have another date with the top 25 team when they play North Carolina State, currently ranked 19th, on December 28th. Left side jumper Zeko. Rebound. Odom kept it alive for the Wildcats and then runs it down in the corner. And a fresh 35 on the shot clock. Anderson defended by Johnson. He hands to the freshman Gibbs. Now left side Odom. On the left, Odom fires up the 3. Rebound Nelson.
Oh, great block out by Nelson. They put those rebounding numbers up by accident.
Austrie to Marcus Johnson. Entered the ball game with only 4 points. Picks up 2 early ones in his first career start.
That has always been the Jim Calhoun team's trademarks. Even years they didn't shoot it especially well. It's going to be a turnover here on the Wildcats.
Number 3.
What's a block out? Watch Nelson right here. Oh, you at the bottom of your screen, you can't quite see it, but great body. And then in transition, the easy one. When you are that dominant on the backboards, your wings can get a running start in transition, and they certainly do.
Rashad Anderson replaces Marcus Johnson. Anderson has scored 35 points off the bench in his last 2 games. And it didn't take him long to fire the first one, did it? Rebound in traffic. Mad scramble. Held ball. Arrow pointing toward New Hampshire. There's a look at Hilton Armstrong, who was named to the Maui Invitational All-Tournament team, and what a run it was for UConn in Maui.
You take a look at the individual accolades for this team. It's just unbelievable. We got another timeout. Jim Calhoun takes a timeout now. So in the first 3.5 minutes, we've had 9 substitutions and 2 timeouts. The chess match begins. But you took Brown made the all-tournament team there. Armstrong made the all-tournament team. How about Rudy Gay, who's got a chance to average over 2 blocks and 2 steals for the first time in the program's history, and he's not even the conference player of the year defensively. That's Josh Boone. So, I mean, it's just the individual accolades for this team just go on and on. They are scary deep, big, long, and very, very diverse in their talents.
Bill Harrion said of UConn, Jim Calhoun's relentless. His kids never take a possession off. They play the way every coach would like his team to play.
Well, that's the ultimate compliment, and it is absolutely on the money.
Bill Harrion remembers Jim Calhoun from their days in Boston. Jim Calhoun coached Northeastern, and Bill Harrion was an assistant for Mike Jarvis at Boston University. And we get a 10-second violation out of the timeout. Ouch.
Those are two turnovers that there's no excuse for, really. The one with the shot clock violation last time when they weren't aware of it, and this one, you got to get it over the timeline. You certainly don't want to throw it all around the gym, but you got to attack. Look at the numbers turnover-wise.
Armstrong down low to Boone, has it partially blocked, but the foul will be called on Zecco, his first and number 2 on the Wildcats. There's a look at Zecco out of John Cabot College Secondary School in Ontario. And there's a look at Josh Boone, who, like Rudy Gay, is a preseason All Big East selection.
Oh, there you got a little smile out of Boone because his teammates can't quite get lined up properly. Messing with his free throw rhythm here, Bob. He's not happy about that.
Boone struggled mightily early in his UConn career from the free throw line, 62.5% this year. And now we get a look at the other freshman point guard as Craig Austry leaves and Rob Garrison enters.
I really feel for these kids, and it's a compliment in a way to Jim Calhoun. He is tough on his point guards. Most good coaches I know are very demanding of their point guards, and these guys to come in with this kind of scrutiny into this program have done very well.
Off the missed free throw, UConn controls the ball, and Anderson's called for the travel. That's turnover number 2 for the Huskies. And the UConn Huskies are 7-0 under Jim Calhoun for the 6th time in his 20 years. They lead 6-0. An early 6-0 lead for Jim Calhoun and Bob Valvano. Jim Calhoun will get Marcus Williams back in a game for the first time January 3rd at Marquette. He did practice with the team for the first time this year this morning.
Well, he is such a different kind of point guard, as you and I talked about actually privately before as we prepared for this game. He gets to the rim, he gets to the basket, explosive. There will be an adjustment. Anybody who says there's not an adjustment, I think, is foolish, even though these 2 point guards that have played for him so well are very unselfish and have distributed the ball. So we're going to get a blocking foul here, I think, on Armstrong.
Yep, that'll be the first on Hilton.
It's still an adjustment, Bob. It will be, but I think it's a good adjustment because you had to learn to play with these freshmen for Jim Calhoun's bunch, and they have now had more minutes on the floor than they certainly would have gotten. So when he comes in, when Williams comes in, if he can just pick up anywhere near where his talent level would indicate he should have left off, they're going to be even better.
And the reality is UConn did not have a backup point guard last year. There were times where Marcus Williams played all 40 minutes.
That's true.
And they won't have to do that this year because of the experience that Austry and Garrison already have. New Hampshire now with 5 turnovers, no points, and only 2 field goal attempts. Those are not good numbers.
Well, the tempo, if you multiply this out, UConn's on a pace to score 60 points. That would be wonderful for Bill Harrion.
That's the good news.
He's on a pace to score no points. That's the bad news. It would be a 60-point loss. So the tempo's to his liking, but they've got to get something going offensively.
Gay finds Boone in the lane. Quickly they get it to Garrison on the perimeter.
Oh, nice look.
Kick out Gay for 3. Long rebound Armstrong. He puts it on the floor, goes up, misses badly. There's Gay with a putback.
Wow. I remember some of Jim's early teams here, and they were not, as you know, Bob, particularly good shooting teams, but they took every rebound as a personal insult that they didn't get, and they are doing that here. They're not exactly lighting it up from the outside, but boy, are they going to the glass using that size advantage.
Out rebounding the Wildcats 5-2. New Hampshire coming off a 7-day layoff since losing at Vermont on December 10th. Like UConn, they paused for final exams in the past week. Shot clock down to 10 again. Anderson being defended by the much taller Gay. Right side jumper Brandon Odom. Rebound Rashad Anderson. And here comes UConn looking to run. Over the head of Armstrong and out of bounds. Third turnover for UConn.
A little impatient. They got the best look they've probably had. They've only taken 3 shots, but that was a nice penetrating move, and then the kick out for the 3. You know, that's the great thing about college basketball since they put that shot clock in over a decade ago. You have to play now. I mean, you can't just go east-west. You got to attack, and this team is going to have to attack, and there's a turnover when they try to attack.
Jeff Adrian checks in and gets a steal on the first possession. Boom. Great body control. Missed the shot. Rebound in the lane pulled down by Anderson. Now New Hampshire with a chance. 2-on-2. Kick out Christensen for 3. Rebound in traffic Zeko. Chris Vetrano, number 12, is checked in. Left side, Yanev for 3.
There they go. Broke the ice.
Took him 6 minutes and 13 seconds to break that ice. 13th 3 of the year for Yanev, the junior from Australia. And as Gay starts to go, we'll get a blocking foul on the Wildcats. This one will be on Jermaine Anderson. Number 1 on Anderson and number 3 on the Wildcats as Ed Nelson returns, replacing Boone. Nelson was the ACC Rookie of the Year 4 years ago as a freshman at Georgia Tech. Nelson gets the ball off the inbound and powers it off the glass and in.
Well, this is just a front line that'll make you quake in your shoes if you can't match up with them, and there's not many in the country that can.
Christensen, Vetrano, they get it across the timeline. Christensen on the left. He was an America East rookie team member a year ago. And taking it to the rim is Anderson, and a blocking foul on Rashad Anderson.
Well, that's a good decision because they just can't keep playing east-west. I mean, you don't passive your way back into the ballgame no matter how carefully you play. It's a good call. Anderson tries to do the right thing. Rashad does anyway. Rashad came across the lane where the weak side help was supposed to come from, but a step late, and so Jermaine Anderson will get a chance to go to the line.
Jermaine Anderson, a former walk-on, missed a couple games early in the season with a bad ankle. Chatting with Bill Harrion this week, I said, what is it that you think you have to sell the most about New Hampshire? And he said, we tell recruits, you come here and you have a chance to play right away for a Division I school, and I promise you, you'll be challenged to work your hardest at practice every single day.
They've already signed a couple of early, and they feel very good about being able to recruit there. I was talking about the same thing in the pregame. He's very optimistic they'll be able to get good level players.
Gay down low to Adrian. The up and under move and the foul. Jeff Adrian, the freshman from Brookline, Massachusetts, demonstrating his strength inside.
Well, that's a good word, strength. They are just overpowering the Wildcats. That pass was not all that accurate, yet he did a good job of hauling it in, and then that was muscle. That was a muscle play by Adrian. Take a look again. Leans in, gets bumped by Zeko, and that hardly deters him at all.
Adrian will go to the line, where he is 15 of 19 this year. Can't get it to go, and there's that pesky Nelson with another rebound. Tough to keep him away from the glass. Marcus Johnson for 3. Rebound inside, and Nelson kept it alive again. Marcus Johnson out-jumps everyone and gets the layup inside.
It's so frustrating for Bill Harrion. What else can you do? I mean, they're just too good. They're just too strong on the front line. That missed free throw is actually a good thing for UConn. It turns into a 4-point possession.
Well, Johnson with 4 early points. That represents a career high for the freshman out of Westchester High School in Los Angeles. Anderson defended by Marcus Johnson. Shot clock down to 10. Vetrano, who was the Massachusetts High School Player of the Year his senior year at Andover High School. Christensen with the left-hander. Rebound Rashad Anderson. Here's Marcus Johnson. Changes hands on the dribble, missed the shot. Tapped it in with the left hand.
Spectacular individual effort by Johnson that time.
6 points off the bench for Johnson. We've played 8+ minutes. It's
Got to hustle it over. Not going to make it.
Turnover number 7 for New Hampshire, and their second 10-second violation. It hasn't been pretty in the early going for the Wildcats. UConn looking for an 8-0 start. It's UConn by 11. The Huskies playing today without their second leading scorer. Senior Denham Brown banged his knee when he collided with teammate Ed Nelson in practice a week ago today. So plug in the freshman Marcus Johnson, and how's he doing so far? Pretty good.
Yeah, how about this effort right here? Goes up, pulls it down in traffic, has it knocked away, regathers it, finishes. And then the good finish in transition here. Watch the miss, and then he goes against his own, taps it in with the left hand. What does that say about this program, Bob? How many kids out of Los Angeles did UConn used to get before Jim Calhoun came here in their recruiting battles?
Of course, the first was Kevin Ollie, who's still making a living in the NBA. And he's been gone from UConn now for this will be his 11th season. Then Marcus Williams, who's from the same high school as Kevin Ollie, Crenshaw High School in Los Angeles. Darryl Strawberry's alma mater. The hold on Jermaine Anderson. But your point is a valid one. And young men like Kevin Ollie, when Brian Fair came to UConn from Phoenix, they said, hey, we see UConn play on TV all the time. We love their style. We wanted to be part of it. Rudy Gay replacing Rashad Anderson. Gay, along with Syracuse guard Jerry McNamara, named the Big East preseason co-player of the year. And Gay's just a sophomore. Garrison back in at the point. Johnson. Gay on the right. Throws up the 3.
Yeah, he's scary good. I mean, his numbers, 16+ points, 6.5 rebounds. As we said earlier, he may average 2 blocks and 2 steals, be the first guy in UConn history to do that if he's able to do it over the course of the season. He's an unselfish player. He's everything he's cracked up to be, I'll tell you what.
That was his 6th three-pointer of the year. Huskies lead the Big East in 3-point shooting percentage, and Yanev kisses it off the glass. He's got 5 points. Yanev, an America East All-Rookie team member 2 years ago as a freshman, leads the team in scoring in his junior year. Catch and shoot Armstrong, rebound Christensen. Vetrano, as we approach the midway point of the first half, UConn by a dozen. First meeting between these two schools in 4 years. UConn won the last one right here in Hartford, 110-58. Vetrano gets by Garrison, but then left it behind and no one was home. 8th turnover for the Wildcats. Gay tipped in by Adrian. UConn having its way, Bob, off the offensive glass.
They really are. Only 8 for 17 shooting, but they are just dominating on the glass. 11-5 right now.
First foul on Adrian and 4 on the team. And Tyrese Gibbs will replace Anderson. Jim Calhoun was inducted into the Naismith Basketball Hall of Fame on September 9th. As we look at the rebounding story.
Well, look at the 8 offensive is the thing for UConn. Right. That's the one that jumps out at you. They've had 2 and 3 shots on more than one possession.
Vetrano scored 2,090 points in his high school career. Gibbs defended by Rashad Anderson. Up top to Katarina, a transfer from American University. Christensen to Katarina again. Tries to go on Nelson, gets a half step on him. Boone may have altered that shot, and here comes Gay. On the left, Garrison to Boone. Hands to Gay and screens for him. Pull up.
Too much. They're just too much. You see Billy Herrion telling guys, find shooters. They found the shooters. What they didn't do is have anybody who could stop the guy with the basketball. Gay with a simple pull-up jumper. Nicely done. And
Gay deflects that. He's 6th in the Big East in steals, showing the long arms. Catch and shoot. Rebound pulled down by Yanev. His first of the afternoon. Vetrano. 9 minutes to go in the half. UConn by 16. Last time New Hampshire beat UConn was 22 years ago in Durham on the New Hampshire campus. That time Christensen didn't even hit iron with the 3. Garrison. Right side, Gay. Reversal to Rashad Anderson. Pull up three. Foot was on the line. It's a 2. Bob, UConn would not have won the national championship 2 years ago were it not for Anderson's contributions. He had 21 3-pointers in the 6 NCAA tournament games.
Look at that hustle by Nelson. I mean, that's what defines this team. I mean, let's tell it like it is. They're playing a 2-7 team. They're ahead 25-7, and Nelson is diving head first, and the crowd appreciates. That is the trademark of every Jim Calhoun team I've ever seen.
Including the 14 at Northeastern, where he won 248 games and went to the NCAA tournament 5 times. The no-look pass, and the only one who was looking was Marcus Johnson. Unfortunately, he plays for the other team, and he was at the scorer's table. UConn 25-7. For the 3rd of 10 times this year, the UConn Huskies are playing at their downtown office at the Hartford Civic Center. I'm Bob Picozzi, along with Bob Valvano. Glad you've joined us on this Sunday afternoon. New Hampshire has scored 7 points and has already turned the ball over 10 times, Bob.
And they're getting out-rebounded 13-6. So, I mean, you have to be a math major to know that's a lot of extra possessions for the Huskies. They're taking advantage of it, although Wildcats get a turnover back right there.
Boone losing the ball in the lane, and possibly earning himself a seat on the bench. Hilton Armstrong reports to the scorer's table. This is Christensen. Up top to Yanev. No rest for New Hampshire. They'll be right back at it, playing a Big Ten team, Penn State, on Tuesday. Look at that wild shot by Gibbs, but he gets himself to the foul line.
Almost made it. That would have been, that could have been degree of difficulty points. That could have cut the 18-point margin down to about 4. That was tough.
First foul on Marcus Johnson, and number 5 on UConn, and to the line will go Gibbs. Played at Brockton High School, also played at Thayer Academy in Braintree, Mass. He was coached there by ex-New Hampshire star Robin Dixon, and Robin Dixon, Bob, scored 35 points the last time New Hampshire beat UConn in 1983.
Well, speaking of 35 points, that underscores a little bit of the Wildcats' problems this year. Here they are in 10 games into the season. They've only had one player in one game score at 20 points. And that was against Robert Morris, where Yanev was the guy to do it, and that they were able to win that game. So they are a team that really, really struggles to score the basketball.
And Rashad Anderson not struggling at all, showing why he leads the Big East in 3-point shooting percent. That was his 16th of the year. That moved down pat, made eye contact with someone in the crowd right after the shot.
Yeah, he dedicated that. He's taking dedications now. That was to somebody a few rows behind there.
There's a look at Rashad, who...
Can we get on the list? I'd like him to make one for me.
7 times in his career he's come off the bench to score 20 points in a game. And in fact, Bob, with Denna Brown not playing today because of the knee injury, you would think, well, you plug in Rashad Anderson. Jim Calhoun doesn't want to mess with Rashad Anderson because he's coming off the bench. He's found his niche and he's doing great off the bench and wants to stay in that role.
Absolutely. I mean, that's not easy to do. There's only been 10 players in Jim Calhoun's coaching career who've come off the bench and scored 20 points, and Anderson's done it 7 times.
Shot clock down to 2. Odom drives. Pretty move to get by Marcus Johnson. That ends a 4+ minute scoring drought for the Wildcats. Austrie. Left side, Johnson. Ed Nelson lobs it down low, but Hilton Armstrong fell down. Here comes Christensen. New Hampshire is 5 on 3. And Christensen with the pull-up 3.
Well, it's about the same place the last one wound up when he took it. He has been hard right each time there.
Last touch by Rashad Anderson. Adrian back in. Pretty move here by Odom. Look at him get past Marcus Johnson.
Yeah, he did. Kind of put it up there and then pulled it back down, let the defense sail by him. Good finish.
Odom, like his teammate Gibbs, played for Robin Dixon at Thayer Academy. Of course, UConn and New Hampshire were charter members of the Yankee Conference and would play each other twice a year, along with Maine and Massachusetts and Rhode Island and Vermont. The college basketball landscape has changed just a bit since those days.
That's the tag.
Armstrong and Johnson combined the pocket, and a great hustle move by Armstrong to knock it off a Wildcat. There's a look at Hilton Armstrong, who hails from the same high school that sent Elton Brand to Duke. Of course, Elton Brand now an outstanding player for the Los Angeles Clippers, who are off to their best start ever despite a recent 3-game losing streak. Armstrong pull-up, no good. Rebound in the lane to Jamal Camarena. Inside the 6-minute mark. UConn by 19. The Huskies will host Morehead State of the Ohio Valley Conference on Friday afternoon, an unusual Christmas break getaway day matinee at Gamble Pavilion at 2 o'clock.
Morehead coached by former UK star Pal Macy.
Yep.
So he may be the biggest name in that bunch. Although he's done a nice job there. He's built a pretty good program in that.
His
conference.
first coaching job ever.
Yep.
Head coaching job, Morehead State. Turnover number 11 for the Wildcats. Look at Anderson run the floor, and look at Garrison find it.
They move the basketball. They are willing to share the ball. You hustle, you go to the glass, you challenge every shot, and you share the ball. Good things are going to happen. And this UConn team does that in abundance. 6 assists on 13 field goals. They're shooting 54%.
Pull-up jumper Gibbs. Rebound Armstrong, already his 4th.
The reason they don't have more assists, a lot of their scoring has been on stickbacks.
Anderson for 3.
That'll be an assist and another 3. Did he dedicate that one?
Team leading 17th of the year. He's shooting 53.6%. Look out.
That's a good percentage shot.
Rudy Gay going way up in the rafters and throwing that one down. Odom pull up over Adrian. Rebound Armstrong is 5th. Here's Garrison. Hesitation.
Oh.
Adrian rebound. It's blocked by Katarina. Fouls call. So a little bit off on the timing there on that alley-oop from Garrison to Gay.
That's the great. Look how quickly they get from defense to offense, just coming in droves. And then if you want to get to what would be considered the trailer on the break, the 3 for Anderson, and then Gay off that turnover. Trying to find the camera. Here we are.
They found it. Foul on Katarina, his 2nd, 6 on New Hampshire as Adrian misses the free throw. Boone and Austrie return for UConn. Christensen replacing Odom for New Hampshire. Look at Rob Garrison, whose Niagara Falls high school team last year was among the top 5 ranked teams in the country. He had originally intended to attend prep school, but then was a late signee with UConn in the summer. Is that a word, signee?
Except that he never actually even signed in that letter. He just told them, I'm coming, and here he is. Trouble there. That's not a good omen.
Held ball, arrow pointing toward New Hampshire with 19 on the shot clock. Vetrano will check back in for the Wildcats when we return. Rudy Gay, a year ago, was the National Freshman of the Year, according to the Sporting News. Might be the sophomore of the year this year. Biggest lead of the afternoon so far for UConn at 27 points. Let's take a look at our Hyundai Cool Facts. And Jim Calhoun has had great success against Big East teams, but even more success against non-conference opponents.
Well, those are impressive numbers, especially the 154 and 19 in November and December. It means his teams get off to great starts, but I think this may be an even more impressive number. In the first and second rounds of the NCAA tournament, he's 23-3. He's never lost a first-round game. And by my yardstick, you get to the Sweet 16, I don't care what the expectations are. That is a great year because one and done, that is absolutely remarkable. And his postseason record's astounding.
Did lose in the second round last year to North Carolina State. Christensen's shot is blocked from behind by Rudy Gay. He's 6th in the Big East in blocks. That was his 15th of the year. Rashad Anderson for 3, already has 2 of them. Jeff Adrian tries to save, could not.
He gave him a timeout.
Did he get it?
Nope, he didn't give him a timeout. He was denying the timeout. That's what he was doing.
Other Big East teams in action today in a low-scoring affair. Seton Hall losing at home to Northwestern, and Syracuse given quite a contest by Davidson. That's a surprise.
No, it's not really. I was going to say that's a good win for Syracuse if they get it. You see Notre Dame going to take on IP Fort Wayne, but Davis has got a terrific team. I'm not talking about a terrific team for their league. I'm talking about a terrific team, period. They are very, very good. Oh, that was dangerous.
Austria went for the steal, didn't get it. Petrano, Katarina as we hit the 3-minute mark. Back outside to Yanev. Finds Katarina down low, and Rudy Gay blocked that, I think, with his elbow.
They're amazing. I mean, and that's the problem for UNH. They only shoot 31% from a three-point line. So you think about upsets or staying in games when you're the underdog, you got to shoot it, and they just don't have the shooters, so they go inside. And UConn's taking numbers to block shots. You get this one. I got the last one.
Huskies with 4 block shots today. They had 17, a Big East season high, against Texas Southern. Jump hook, Boone. Rebound pulled down by Yanev. Anderson to Christensen. Hampshire still trying to get in double figures. Can Yanev do it? Maybe Christensen can. Gay does not give him the easy hoop. And instead, Christensen will go to the line.
I like Gay. I mean, they're up 36-9, and he's still got a little attitude around the basket. He's upset that they gave up a rebound, and then he had a foul. He's not happy about that. That is one of the great things, as we said, that Jim Calhoun's teams have done. This is a mismatch, quite candidly, and yet his guys have work to do. And the scoreboard is running, and they have business to take care of. And they're doing it in business-like fashion.
Christensen misses the first free throw. He has struggled from the line this year. He's shooting only 58.6% from the line. 2 years ago, as a high school senior, he shot 83% from the line. And the one thing, Bob, correct me if I'm wrong here, but the one thing you ought to do at least as well in college as in high school, shoot free throws.
That's hard to figure. I don't.
Do they practice that?
Things are going your way. Even the bench is laughing at that. That was the old ricochet rabbit three-point play here. Take a look at this. Here we go. Ready? Doink. Hit the shoulder. I know UConn's got a terrific soccer program also. That's legal in soccer.
In hockey, Nelson's shoulder would have gotten an assist.
But he would have been an assist on his own basket. He's the one who scored. How about that?
Katarina's third foul, 7 on the team, and Nelson will try to complete the three-point play.
It was amazingly how it didn't upset the rhythm of the play at all. It just looked like it was part of the offense.
Nelson knocks down the free throw. He's got 5 points. Armstrong back in replacing Nelson. Making his first UConn start of his career. This is second and final year at UConn. Coming off a season-high 8 points and a UConn career-high 9 rebound effort against Massachusetts in the Huskies' last game before final exams on December 10th. Inside the 2-minute mark. Petrano. Defended by Gay, who is 13 inches taller than Petrano. Yanev with Gay's hand in his face. 13th three of the season for Yanev at the 1:30 mark. Johnson to Armstrong. Up top, Garrison. Gay throws up the three.
Come on, Bob, you've seen him more than I have. What doesn't he do? Tell me something he doesn't. Can he cook?
Well, he's been turning the ball over this year. Entering the game, he had 12 assists to 20 turnovers, so I suppose there could be some room for improvement there.
The whole team has not been sterling in that capacity. They've actually made more turnovers than they've forced the opposition. But
yeah, they're 9th in the Big East of the 16 teams in turnover margin. You have to assume that number will improve in the course of time. Gay already today with 14 points. Yanev another three. Rebound, Armstrong, and he one-hands it to Gay. Armstrong already with 6 rebounds. Marcus Johnson called for the travel. Coming up at halftime, we will take a closer look at UConn's Hall of Fame coach Jim Calhoun. We'll tell you about the Big East flavor at the very top of the national rankings, and we'll take a look at first half highlights from UConn and New Hampshire, all coming up at halftime. Garrison with the blocking foul directly in front of us. 1 on him, 7 on the team. So the Wildcats will go to the line to shoot the 1-and-1.
These are two terrific coaches, and they both are using this game for the same purpose. Obviously, the outcome is well decided, but even though Bill Harion's bunch is overmatched, he's talked to us about he's going to have to play some zone in his conference, and he's going to find out. He doesn't normally play zone, what kinds of things they can do to get better at it against this very, very talented UConn team. And Jim Calhoun is sending that message we said earlier, that there's a certain level that our team plays at, and it's not acceptable to play below it. And he has made that message early and obvious with his substitutions in the early part of this game.
Yeah, Jim Calhoun told me on Friday, he says, I never know what to expect following a long layoff for final exams. Your guess is as good as mine. We could play great, we could play lousy, or anywhere in between. One of the players, Marcus Johnson, actually has a biology exam on Monday, although technically the final day for exams was yesterday on the campus. UConn playing for the last shot. Shot clock is off. Game clock at 10. Garrison goes around the Armstrong screen, takes it into traffic. Rebound Garrison. Throws out to Rashad Anderson. Can he beat the clock? So UConn will have to settle for a 27-point lead at halftime. The Huskies have lost only one of their last 73 games here at the Civic Center in the months of November and December. Rudy Gay with 14. UConn has won 107 of its last 108 home games against unranked opponents in the months of November and December. Off to a terrific start the first half against New Hampshire. Bob Picozzi along with Bob Valvano at the Hartford Civic Center. Glad you joined us on this Sunday afternoon. Big first half for Marcus Johnson, who had 6 points in his first career start, and Rudy Gay topping the way with 14.
Well, not only did he get 14, but how he got them. Making the three, just in transition, just showing all the versatility that makes him a special player.
Same five which started the game for UConn on the floor to begin the second half. Same five for New Hampshire as well. Up top, Austrie. Pull up, Gay.
I mean, that's just too good.
Foot was on the line, so that's 16 points for Gay. He's in double figures for the 7th time this year, leading the way for New Hampshire in the first half. Blagoy Yanev, who had 11.9 per game, is their leading scorer for the season.
He actually had decent numbers, 3 for 6 from the field, no turnovers in 19 minutes.
Odom lost the ball, last touch by Nelson. 25 left on the shot clock for the Wildcats, who have never won an America East tournament. This is their 27th year in the league. They did share a regular season title once back in 1983 with Boston University.
I have great faith that Billy Harion will make them a very good program in a sooner rather than later mode. He's going to do a good job.
Yanev penetrates, sets up the open look by Odom. Rebound batted around, comes to Jermaine Anderson. He found Yanev, had the shot, didn't take it. So the reset offensively with the shot clock. Odom guarded by Gay. And we'll get a foul away from the play on the Wildcats called by Fran Connolly. It will be on Katarina, and I think that's his fourth. First in the second half on Bill Harion's club. Bill Harion spent 6 years at East Carolina following his successful tenure at Drexel. Was actually named an assistant coach under Stan Heath at Arkansas in April, but resigned a month later when the New Hampshire head coaching job popped open. Austrie knocks down the three. Bob, that's his first shot of the day.
Well, I'll tell you, I'm more impressed with what they've done now, although it's easy to do when you've got this enormous lead. At the beginning, they were scoring just because they were bigger and more athletic. They were missing a lot of shots. They weren't getting the good shots against the zone. First 2 possessions, they've got nice looks, good stroke by Gay, good look by Austrie, and they're much more in rhythm against the zone.
Gibbs starts to go, does a good job of drawing the foul and getting to the line. Foul will be on Hilton Armstrong. It can't be on Hilton Armstrong because he's on the bench. It'll be on Marcus Johnson. His second, first on the team, second half. And to the line will go Tyrese Gibbs. Here's a look at Gibbs's numbers. Equaled his career high with 12 against Vermont. Bill Harion comes from a coaching family, Bob. His brother Tom, the coach at the College of Charleston. Their dad, Jim, was an assistant at Holy Cross and the head coach at Worcester Tech. So it's in their DNA, this coaching business.
As I said, he's going to do a fine job there. And you know, anybody who's coached, unfortunately, has been on this end of a score like this at some point in their career. And you really do try and find a way to get something out of it. He's going to continue to work on that zone and see if they can make the adjustment. You saw him drawing up a slide on the zone for his play.
Johnson with the miss, but Nelson with the putback. He's got 7. in his first UConn start. Played 2 minutes. UConn nears the 50-point mark. They beat the press 2-on-1, but he threw it away. Boone was the one-man back. Gibbs bounces it into the Wildcats bench. Nelson's done quite a job in his first start at UConn.
Including that creative shoulder pass he threw in the first half.
Nelson was the USA Today Player of the Year his senior year at St. Thomas Aquinas High School in Fort Lauderdale. Gets the ball down low off the feet from Gay. The shot blocked, but Nelson gets it back. He gets every loose ball. Austrie missed. Nobody put a body on Gay. Wow. He had both elbows over the rim on that one. Gay with 18 points. Here's a 2-on-1 again. And this time Odom will draw the foul on Josh Boone.
You know, one of the things you can do when you've got guys in the back like Boone, the defensive player of the year in the Big East, as you watch the replay here. Nice block that time by Yannick, but they stayed with it and watched Gay like a rocket. A slam finish. I mean, that's the beauty of what, and you wonder why would Jim Calhoun be pressing at a 34-point lead, because the same thing we talked about. These are coaches who are working on things for their conference play and working on the pressure. Watch the replay here. Watch Gay now from the right side of your screen. Here he comes. And a great finish. But both these coaches working on things that'll help them when they get to the conference. And as I said, UConn has the advantage of being very aggressive. And you know, you've got Boone in the back who's going to challenge shots.
Boone, 5th leading shot blocker in UConn history, and he's only 8 games into his junior year. Big East Defensive Player of the Year last year as a sophomore. 3 minutes gone, second half. UConn by 33. Marcus Johnson fed Nelson, bad pass. Nelson's got it anyway.
You're right. If there's a, what they call in soccer, a 50-50 ball, he's coming up with it. He takes every one as it is his personal possession.
Can you picture Nelson at 6'8" on the soccer field?
Not sure I'd want to.
Oh, Akeem Olajuwon was a goalkeeper, wasn't he?
Yeah, that's a good point. Not much room to shoot with that.
Wingspan.
Yes, touch either post.
Yanef looks inside, nothing there. Now he directs Christensen to pop out and wants to take Nelson off the bounce. Tries.
There you go.
Does a nice job. Draws the foul.
None of it has been something that I would think Bill Herrion feels he can build on. He's only a junior. And as I said, he's put decent numbers up in the first half. He was 3 for 6. And had the chance to go to the line, complete the 3-point play.
The hand for Nelson, who departs after picking up his first foul. Also has scored 9 points. Hilton Armstrong replaces him. Yanef was born in Macedonia. And then at age 11, his family moved to Australia. He played for the under-20 Australian national team a couple of summers ago. So from Macedonia to Australia to Durham, New Hampshire, he's seen just about everything.
Just another one of those America East Macedonian Australian players. How many have they got in that league?
Gay, right side jumper. Air ball. Boone's there for the rebound, and he's fouled by Odom. His first and 2 on the Wildcats. Of course, the America East sort of wide open, Bob, with the graduation of nearly all of the good players on the Vermont team that had a great run under Tom Brennan and won the last 2 league titles. And Bill Herrion says, I think in a couple of years, we ought to be able to compete for the championship in the league.
They do. He will be a hero, I'm sure.
Marcus Johnson, hesitation, mid-air alteration.
While he was up there, he moved the ball right, moved it left, shot it. Not a problem. They are spectacular athletes.
He's got 8. The Huskies shooting 56%. Entered the game shooting 47%. Left side, Christensen. New Hampshire entered the game giving up, as a team, 63 points per game. I don't think we're going to hold the Huskies to 63 today. Good hustle there by Zecco, kept it alive at the offensive end. Vetrano on the weave to Christensen. Anderson to the cutter, Christensen. And Armstrong will be called for the goaltend. The lead is 34 for the Huskies. Rudy Gay is averaging 16 points per game, already has 18 today. .32-point lead for UConn. These two schools have played each other 113 times previously, many with D. Rowe as the coach, former coach. There he is. And D just arrived at the Civic Center today after going to Hartford Hospital to visit UConn golf coach Ron Du Bois, a former associate AD here at UConn, who is recovering from very successful heart bypass surgery. And knowing the Colonel, as he's known on campus, Ron Du Bois is watching the game. So, Colonel, we wish you a speedy recovery and want to see you back here at the Civic Center at Gamble Pavilion real soon. Out of the timeout, Marcus Johnson continues to light it up. He's got 10, his first double-figure scoring game of his career. He only had 4 points, Bob, entering the game.
Steal by Gay is again the defense there, and the alley-oop. Wow.
He's got 12. Maybe Denham Brown better rehab that knee injury in a hurry. Marcus Johnson likes the playing time.
That'll make you get well in a hurry.
Christensen. Just to give you an example of how deep UConn is, Johnson, you would say, would be the 10th man in the rotation entering today, and he's about to get his 13th and 14th points.
It's going to be a 4-point play and the ball. Yikes. Well, you always want to say it can never get, you never want to say it can't get any worse, because you can find a way. Here's the turnover off the press, and then Gay again. Look at the good ball handling. And a great sense of court awareness, puts it right on the money for Marcus for the finish.
Jim Calhoun likes Johnson's defensive abilities very much. He says, I think he has a chance to become a good scorer. But one of the reasons he got the start today with Denham Brown injured was because of what he has demonstrated so far at the defensive end of the floor. This has to give him a lot of confidence.
It's a good call here. You watch. From that angle, it didn't look as bad. From the angle we had, same one the official had, Anderson clearly was an intentional foul, and so 2 free throws on the ball. He missed both, so instead of a possible 6 or 7 point play, he'll just have 2 and try and build on that.
Huskies ball. New Hampshire's played zone every single UConn possession today, and Armstrong, they're calling a hell ball. Arrow pointing toward New Hampshire. So Zecco did a nice job getting his big paw in there. Got a bunch of the basketball. Not sure the UConn coaching staff agreed with that call, but when you're up 61-23, I think you can overlook that.
That's right sporting of you, Bob. You're right. I probably can.
Anderson to Christensen. Gets a half step on Gay, who'll be called for the hold.
Good to see D. Rowe looking. We were trying to decide before the game whether he looked more like a movie star or U.S. center.
I voted for center.
I think movie star, but either way, you know, I would say from our time when, as I mentioned, my brother was an assistant here, we love D. Rowe, and that would sound dramatic, except everybody loves D.
He is the ambassador for UConn sports and has been for a long time. Vetrano got an armful of Armstrong on the way down. Christensen sets up Yanev. And he buries the 3.
That was a good play, whatever they ran right there.
Think they diagrammed that?
I'm not sure, but it got Yanev a great look.
Yanev with 14 of New Hampshire's 26 points. It's the 7th time he's been in double figures this year.
He's shooting a good percentage to do it. He's 5 of 9 and 3 of 5 behind the arc. So he's got no apologies for the way he shot the ball. And now a steal for him.
And a 3-on-1 if they hurry. Now Gay's the one back. Vetrano back to Yanev. Reverse layup.
He's got something to build on in that kid. He's a good player.
Well, let it be noted that New Hampshire forced UConn to call a timeout. The Wildcats trying to build on something. UConn has built up a big lead. Look at Blagoy-Yanev. Bill Harrion said if our kids can't get excited about playing UConn, they ought to turn in their scholarships. The Wildcats with their best sequence of the game so far.
That was a nice little 2-on-1 break, because clearly the way UConn blocks shots, you have to make good decisions. A little back and forth between Yanev and Vetrano, and even then he was smart enough not to go right up with it, used the rim as a screen and went around to the other side, made the reverse layup. 5 unanswered points for the Wildcats.
Yanev has scored 16 of the Wildcats' 28 points. 7 minutes gone, second half. Rashad Anderson with his 3rd 3 of the afternoon. 3 for 5.
Good screen against the zone. That was nicely done. So I said they really attacked it better than they did at the start of the game, where they were scoring almost on all stickbacks.
Anderson is already 5th in UConn history in 3-point field goals. Left side Christensen, I think it went off his foot. No, it went off Armstrong's foot. 19 to shoot for the Wildcats. Armstrong started 22 games as a freshman, and then as the Huskies brought in Boone and Emeka Okafor, you remember him?
Yeah, he was a pretty good player. I think he's still playing, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, Rookie of the Year in the NBA last year. Armstrong did not see as much playing time last year, but he has started every game but this one, and this is senior year. Anderson, Jermaine Anderson, no good. Rebound, Ryan Thompson kept it alive. He's just checked in. And another held ball, arrow toward UConn. Ryan Thompson, a senior like Yanev from Australia. Last go around for Ryan. There's a look at Christensen, who's out of Reston, Virginia. That's where Grant Hill's from. Wild shot by Adrian. Pulled down by Yanev, and here comes Vetrano. Hampshire looking to get something in transition here in the second half. Christensen, left side three. Rebound, Rashad Anderson. 8 minutes gone, second half. Thompson, reversal to Rashad Anderson. Pull up, 2. Kept alive by Armstrong. Fake the pass to Adrian and then takes it to the hole. Foul called on Yanev, I believe. So Hilton Armstrong, watch the ball fake here. You don't see that too often from a guy 6'11". He'll try to complete the 3-point play when we get back. Back at the Hartford Civic Center, where UConn has enjoyed a comfortable lead from wire to wire so far against the New Hampshire Wildcats in non-conference play. Not far away, Bob Valvano, the beginning of conference play. A couple of matchups to look forward to in the first week.
And interesting storylines on all those teams. Obviously, Marquette and Tom Crean's had to basically replace his entire coaching staff. Cincinnati, Andy Kennedy there. And certainly you see the nationally ranked teams as well in that bunch. There's the competitor in Jim Calhoun, 66-28, and he's angry that they missed a free throw.
And his Huskies will visit Marquette to open conference play on January 3rd. Marquette won the Great Alaska Shootout in November, while UConn was winning the Maui Invitational.
There's certainly been enough reason to get excited about the new additions to this conference, as well as the old standbys.
Toronto with the miss, rebound Ryan Thompson.
Including the University of Louisville, as we mentioned, lost yesterday to Kentucky, but has a great young core of freshmen and newcomers to go along with Taekwon Dean and David Padgett, the Kansas transfer.
Armstrong, great look inside to Josh Boone.
Yeah, Jim Calhoun's got to be thrilled about his big men are willing to interior pass and look for each other, and it doesn't matter what the score is, they're not out there looking for theirs. They play the game as a team.
Armstrong had only 5 assists in 167 minutes entering the game, and he's got a couple today. We approach the midway point of the second half. Ball deflected out of bounds by Garrison. 16 left in the shot clock. Yanev, Jermaine Anderson back in for New Hampshire. Armstrong, a big reason why the Huskies won in Maui, beating Arkansas, Arizona, who was ranked 8th in the country at the time, and then Gonzaga, who was ranked 9th in the country, in a terrific championship game that was decided on a little jump hook by Denham Brown with 1.1 seconds left. That the night after Gonzaga outlasted Michigan State in one of the great college basketball games in recent years. Shot clock all the way down to 3. Someone has to fire it. Christensen barely gets it off, and the rebound is Armstrong. It's his 8th. So that equals his season high. He had 8 against Arizona. Gay with the miss. Rebound on a hop, Jermaine Anderson. Left side, Yanev. This is the 3rd of 5 straight road games for New Hampshire. Kick out Yanev. Christensen 0 for 5 from 3-point range, 1 for 8 for the game. He's had a tough afternoon. Takes it to the hole and does a good job of getting himself to the line. Not a bad idea when your outside shot's not falling.
So tough to do against this team, though, because they are so good collectively blocking shots and avoiding fouls when they do make the blocks. And as we said, New Hampshire not a great three-point shooting team, coming in and play tonight just 31%. So really hasn't been a lot of options for them offensively, and it's reflected in the just 28 points in 30+ minutes of play.
Second foul on Armstrong, 5 on UConn. Odom comes back in for New Hampshire, and we look at Jeff Adrian as Armstrong gets a rest. 2 points, but 8 rebounds for Armstrong. Christensen's second shot is good. 6 points this afternoon, make it 7 for the sophomore from Virginia. Marcus Johnson to Gay, top of the key 3. Rebound, nice box out by Odom.
That was a good, an aggressive box out. Nice defensive play there. Too bad, really. It was a good job. Look, that's why I say, how can you not have respect for that? 68-30, and he's in there trying to take a charge 50 feet from the basket. Yeah, he almost got a turnover, and now they do get a turnover.
That pass headed our way. 18 turnovers for the Wildcats. Bill Harrion ages a little bit further. Bill is a New England guy. He's graduated from Merrimack College.
That drives you crazy when you don't even get the ball in bounds.
As we mentioned, he was an assistant coach at Boston University under Mike Jarvis. Garrison with the shot, no good. Rebound, Gay keeps it alive. So again, another hustle play by the All-American candidate. Reversal to Marcus Johnson, throws up the 3. Got it. First career three-pointer for the freshman from Los Angeles. He's got 17 points. So he's increased his career scoring total from 4 to 21 in his first career start. Timeout New Hampshire with UConn up by 41. Bill Harrion, Bob, when he was at Boston University, his first year as an assistant there under Mike Jarvis was Jim Calhoun's last year as the head coach at bitter crosstown rival Northeastern. Bill Harrion has coached in this building before in his last year as an assistant. The 1989-90 season, again under Mike Jarvis, Boston University was UConn's opening round opponent in the NCAA tournament that year.
Lots of crossed career storylines. I think I've told you, Jim Calhoun offered me what would have been my first job at a college, to be his assistant. This is true, at Northeastern. He said, I'm looking for a guy. I want to be able to give him a credit card in October and not see him again until May. He needs somebody to go recruit for me. And you know what? Our lives might have been vastly different. I don't know. You take a look at the game summary. Yaniv certainly has played admirably. Not only the 16 points, but the good shooting percentage. Look at Connecticut's field goal percentage, largely because of that second chance points. They have 20 second chance points, Bob. And as you said, Marcus Johnson struck the personal lottery today. 17 points on the afternoon and counting.
So now from your coaching experience, and of course you went on to coach at St. Francis and Catholic University, Bellarmine, in Louisville. What do you do if you're Jim Calhoun? Denham Brown comes back. I mean, he doesn't lose his starting job,
you know,
because Marcus Johnson had a great game.
Obviously,
there's Denham.
No disrespect as you take a look at Denham Brown. Yes, not to New Hampshire. You wouldn't base it on this, but you know that is what some coaches have you have to form a philosophy about that. And I know a lot of guys, including we would always feel, you can't lose your position because you're injured. You know, that but it's a pretty good motivator if you know that the guy's playing well, you'd better get back. He'll certainly do your rehab. So I think it's got to be consistent with your philosophy. But boy, do they have options on this team or what? It's amazing.
Well, coaches will tell you they love the situation. The best guys will play.
That's it.
Guys who practice best and play best in the games, they'll play.
You have a lot of leverage. The hammer's a lot larger when you got a deep bench.
Shot clock running down again. Jermaine Anderson swatted away by Rashad Anderson with 2 seconds left on the shot clock. 5th block shot of the day for UConn.
Just are loving the block shots, and they do it so quick to the ball. This is the primary defender. Usually the block is for the secondary defender as they get a shot clock violation.
Second one of those today. 19 turnovers on the Wildcats. Bill Harrion's club will visit Penn State on Tuesday, then take 7 days off, and then visit 19th ranked North Carolina State on the 28th. He can't wait to get back into America East play. They're 0-2 in the league, losing to Vermont, Boston University.
Great
Look at the ball move.
That's why I say much better than the first half. That's a terrific attack against the zone there.
20 points for Rudy Gay. It is the 3rd time he's done that this year, the 4th time in his career. And we still have 8 minutes left. Nice move to the hole by Christensen. He was met there by Gay and Adrian. Foul will be on Adrian. Number 2 on him, and number 6 on UConn here in the second half. So Christensen's at the line. All right, let's talk the other side of the equation. You're Bill Harrion as you look at the New Hampshire schedule, and they'll get back into Merrick East play on January 5th against Binghamton. You knew that it was very unlikely you'd be competitive today, and that has played out. So what, if anything, do you take away from this experience if you're Bill Harrion?
Well, coaches can always take something away from this because they'll watch tape and see the things that against the very highest level of competition they'll face that they possibly can build on. It's the players that it's hard to get in their head. You know, no player wants to go out there in front of whatever it is, 16,000, 15,000, 500 people and not be competitive and be embarrassed. And they'll be 2-8 right now and probably going to get worse with these road games coming up. So that's the big thing, keeping the players' psyche positive.
Adrian with 1 and nearly a 2nd offensive rebound, and finally Christensen comes away. New Hampshire was picked to finish last in the 9-team America East in the preseason coaches poll. Goaltending call on Boone. So give credit for the basket to Jermaine Anderson. Josh Boone has blocked 165 shots in his career. That one won't count. Welcome back to the Hartford Civic Center. Well, Jim Calhoun hopes that he spends the first weekend in April in Indianapolis. That's where the Final Four will be. But we know where he'll be on April 21st, Bob, and that'll be in New York City.
Yeah, we're very excited about that. The 2nd annual Spirit of Jimmy V Award. Last year, Rudy Giuliani, the former New York mayor, was the recipient, gave a rousing and inspirational speech. And this year, co-honorees and good friends, the 2 Jims, Jim Boeheim and Jim Calhoun, both cancer survivors, both national championship winners. That should be a great night. We're looking forward to that. Raised over $500,000 last year.
Gay with the right side jump. Of course, the annual Jimmy V Classic was played recently in New York. And your brother Nick still heads the foundation. What's the running total since the foundation began?
Amazing, a little less than 12 years, $50 million right now. And here's the cool thing, as we watch the great rebound, UConn just continues to dominate the backboards. Dangerous pass there. One of the things that we're very close to being able to do is run the entire foundation just as a travel there on a little bit too creative attempt at the pass. Right now, 83 cents on every dollar goes to cancer research, and we're very close to getting to the point where there'll be enough money in the endowment. You can run the entire operation off the endowment interest, which means every single penny that gets donated will go to cancer research. So these events are the things that get us closer to that. So we're excited about that. And Jim Calhoun's been a great friend of our organization, and that'll be a great day.
And the UConn women's team played North Carolina right here at the Civic Center in the Jimmy V Women's Classic this year, raising money for the same cause.
Great response from the women's coaches as well, primarily towards breast cancer research. Oh, look at that strength inside. They just, I mean, the great thing is, if you came in to play in UConn, Bob, and said, I'm going to try and get their front line in foul trouble, you'd have to get like 8 guys in foul trouble. They'd have to have 50 fouls.
There's Jim Calhoun's longtime friend, George Blaine. George's right, our left. Andre LaFleur, one of Jim's great players at Northeastern. There's George, a great coach at Holy Cross. Yana, that one was from Trumbull Street.
He's comported himself very admirably today, putting up some good numbers. As we said, not just the points, but the shooting percentage. 19 points now, 7 of 12.
One shy of his season high. Rashad Anderson with the miss. Rebound kept alive to Rashad Anderson. It didn't take him long to fire up another one.
Well, you said it earlier, Bob. This UConn team can shoot it. They take every rebound as a personal insult if they don't get it. They defend you. They press you. They force you out of your offense. If they can just not turn the ball over, that's been about the only bugaboo on this team.
Yanef, and there's a new season high. He's got 21 points. He had 20 against Robert Morris earlier this year. Anderson, Rashad has 15 points. Left side pull-up Marcus Johnson, and there's that Nelson again. He's all over the place. And now he'll be at the foul line.
He plays like a guy should have a shaved head. That's appropriate. That is a good look for him.
He has a UConn career high 11 points. One game after establishing a UConn career high of 9 against UMass.
I mean, if he came out with the, the anchor man's hair, it doesn't work, because he is, we've seen him on the floor, we watch him on the glass. The muscle on that play, good numbers. 1 rebound short of a double-double right now.
Very productive player at Georgia Tech. 2 years there, played 62 games. Scored in double figures 19 times, and then transferred to UConn, sat out a year. This is his second and final season in a Huskies uniform. We approach the 5-minute mark. Vetrano for 3. Rebound Jeff Adrian, his 6th. Right side, Marcus Johnson. Reversal to Thompson. Up top, Garrison. Johnson. Back out to Garrison. Thompson puts it on the floor. Rebound on a hop to Yanev, his 3rd. Here's Vetrano. Alley-oop to Odom. Didn't quite get above the rim, but got a reasonable attempt at the hoop. And here's Garrison, who goes behind the back and sets up Thompson for 3. Rebound Yanev.
A lot of Australians there.
Thompson from Lake Guinadera High School in Australia. Did play at Western Nebraska Community College for a couple of years before coming to UConn. Vetrano. Gibbs. Down low, Katarina, and Thompson creates the held ball. Arrow pointing toward New Hampshire with 13 seconds left in the shot clock. So Vetrano will inbound baseline. New Hampshire playing 9 of its first 12 games on the road. Tough way to begin the season for any team. Gibbs to Christensen, the runner with the right. Rebound Nelson again, and there's his first UConn double-double. 12 points, 10 rebounds. And a travel call on the Huskies. Marcus Johnson has a career high 17. Earns himself a pat in the back from his Hall of Fame coach. UConn has outshot New Hampshire 53% to 28%. Out-rebounded the Wildcats 40-23. Leading by 41 points with 3:40 remaining in the ballgame. Huskies on their way to an 8-0 start. They've never been 11-0 entering the month of January, but if they win their next 3, that's what they'll be. Adrian with the 6th block shot of the day for UConn, and the long rebound to Adrian, who then kept it alive to Garrison. Still loose. Look at all the bodies on the floor, including those belonging to the team that's winning by 41 points. And one of those bodies on the floor is Ed Nelson. And let's take a look at our defensive player of the game, brought to you by Cooper Tires. Don't give up a thing. And there he is, Ed Nelson.
Certainly, as you said, Bob, that typifies his play. A 41-point lead, and he is all over the floor for the loose ball. This is not the defensive end. This is the offensive end, but working just as hard there on the inbounds pass. And a good finish on the glass. His first double-double here in a Husky uniform.
Well, as you know, Bob, as a coach, when in practice, the normal rules don't always apply. And I was at UConn practice the other day, and there was a ball. It was out of bounds. And one of the walk-ons, Nick Forostowski, went to pick it up, and Ed Nelson went to pick up the ball, even though he was a defensive player. And he picked up the ball, and Nick Forostowski spun him around to try to wrestle it away from him. Forostowski was looking for a whistle that never sounded. And eventually Nelson got the ball away.
That's the practice rules. The survival of the fittest.
Thompson with the miss. Rebound Christensen inside the 3-minute mark. Top Christensen. Vetrano tries to get a step on Garrison. Can't. Christensen penetrates. Kick out Katarina. Left side 3.
So you were asking, what do you get out of it for Bill Herring? You notice how that last time out, he ran a set play. They worked around perfectly, got it on the block to Yanev, but the shot was blocked as this UConn front line. A little bit too tough.
Nelson with his 11th rebound. So he's had a UConn career high in points and rebounds. His first double-double as a Husky. He had 3 of them in his 2 years at Georgia Tech. Garrison. UConn entered the game averaging 79 per game. So they're at 80 with 2 minutes to go. Right side Thompson. Nelson starts to go. There's those strong hands to keep it alive. And then Johnson with a 3. So he has 20 points in his first career start.
He made the most of his opportunity, Robert. He certainly has come out and been impressive.
They're the same high school, Westchester, which sent the great All-American Craig Smith to Boston College. The Eagles currently ranked 13th in the country in their first year in the ACC. That still sounds funny.
Yes, it does.
There's Yanev for 3, and Bill Harrion calls timeout so he can get some of his players in the game.
That's a classy thing to do. This is probably, with all due respect to NC State, be no bigger game on the schedule, and he wants to give his young men a chance to experience it here. Nice thing to do.
They are Sean Toby, sophomore from Elliott, Maine. Matthew Abbott, a 6'6 freshman from Falmouth, Maine. And re-entering the game, Branimir Zeko. And now the 4 UConn walk-ons will get to show their skills at the next whistle. Garrison gives to Thompson for 3, and it's all working for the Huskies at the 1-minute mark. First points of the season for Thompson. And
that's a gesture by the official. That was very nice.
Yeah.
That was the
John Gaffney blew the whistle. Discovered, it was amazing. He discovered that wet spot, and at the same time it stopped play, which enabled the 4 UConn walk-ons to get in. Nick Forostowski, we mentioned him before. Ben Spencer, Martin Gagne, and Osazi Omakara. As Thompson departs. Those 4 walk-ons each got in for 1+ minute against Texas Southern. Forostowski and Spencer scored. Let's see if Gagne and/or Omakaro can get on the board for the first time in their careers. Left side shot, no good by Abbott. Here comes Garrison. It's Garrison and the 4 walk-ons. There's Gagne looking for his first career point. Still looking.
Well, wasn't that a singing group in the 60s? I thought it was.
First couple years ago, he won a Cy Young Award, didn't he? Oh, wrong Gagne. Vetrano to Gibbs. Vetrano throws up a 3. And the rebound is pulled down by Spencer. Held ball, arrow toward UConn. Shot clock off. 26 seconds left. Ben Spencer went to high school in the shadows of the UConn campus at E.O. Smith in Mansfield. The Village of Stores is part of the town of Mansfield. Here's Gagne to Garrison. Ball deflected by Gibbs. And a blocking foul will be called on Gagne with 13.9 seconds left. So, Mr. Valvano, your first look in person at UConn. Are the Huskies as good as advertised in your judgment?
Well, again, with all due respect to our friend Bill Harrion and UNH, it's not a good yardstick, but yes, in a word, yes. I think Jim Calhoun has a deep bunch, a versatile bunch, a front line that's every bit as good as it was cracked up to be. They'll only get better, one would assume, when Marcus Williams joins the squad. But I think given the opportunity that these freshmen have had to play all these minutes, that's only going to make them deeper. You pointed out last year they really played without a backup point guard. They won't have that problem this year. They're the real deal.
There's Spencer. He scored a point against Texas Southern. Here's Gagne. Remember, he has never scored. Maybe Friday against Morehead State. So UConn now 8-0 following a 42-point victory over New Hampshire. The Huskies have defeated the Wildcats 6 times in a row and enjoy a comfortable edge in the Lifetime Series with New Hampshire 89-25. 22 points for Rudy Gay. There's Ed Nelson, first UConn career double-double with a UConn career high 12 points and 11 rebounds. The number 2 team in the country with the easy victory over New Hampshire. 86-44, the UConn Huskies beat New Hampshire to extend their season-opening winning streak to 8. Welcome back to the Hartford Civic Center. Bob Picozzi along with Bob Valvano. Does this UConn team have any weakness at all?
Well, as we said, you can only go by the statistics, and I'm sure Jim Calhoun would like to see him cut down the turnovers. At the start of the game, they weren't in a flow against the zone, but their rebounding makes up for a myriad of sins, and they do have such great versatility and depth at so many possessions. So no team is perfect, but this team is pretty darn good at every spot in every facet.
And they only turned the ball over 11 times today. As we take a look at some of the final statistics, look at the shooting percentage for UConn and the rebounding margin.
Well, that all of those three stats are all connected. The eliminate turnovers, the field goal percentage, large measure to offensive rebounds, which led to the points in the paint, but still they did get some great shooting. You know, Marcus Johnson was able to shoot the ball well. Rudy Gay shot it very well. Anderson did what he does very well. So it was an impressive performance by a deep group. By the way, Denham Brown didn't even play.
And, and because he didn't, Marcus Johnson got his first career start because of the Brown injury, which isn't a serious one, by the way. He could be back Friday against Morehead State. And look at what Marcus Johnson did in his first career start. And that's what it's all about. If you're an athlete and you come off the bench, an injury to one is an opportunity for another.
Got to take those opportunities. And I like their attitude in the game. It was obviously a mismatch. They were all business today. The Huskies impressive in that regard as well.
Thank you very much, Bob. Enjoyed working with you. So UConn wins it by a score of 86-44. This has been a presentation of ESPN Regional Television, the leader in collegiate sports. Good afternoon, everyone.